you're hanging out with guys that you like, and you're just out and meeting anybody you want, and you're in New York City. You're like living Miles Davis's life.
Yeah. It was even worse than that because I was hanging out at pool halls too.
Oh, yeah.
So that was my pool hall days. So all day long, this is what my day was. I'd wake up whenever. I'd go to the gym. I'd get a workout in. And then I would go to the pool hall. And I would go to the pool hall in the afternoon, and I'd hang out with the guys. We'd play pool. We'd talk shit. We'd have some lunch or whatever. And then I'd go do shows. So I'd do shows at night, and then I'd come back to the pool hall at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and it would be packed. And those fucking animals would be in there gambling and talking shit and doing drugs, and they would stay up till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we would go to the Star Diner in Mount Vernon, New York, and we'd eat cheeseburgers, and like a cheeseburger deluxe. So it was a cheeseburger with like coleslaw on it and pickles and onions. And then I'd go to sleep, and I'd wake up and do it all again. So I had this life of just, like, being around these degenerate bachelors.
Yeah.
They were fun people with great stories, and they were always gambling. Everybody was gambling. And we're just playing pool all the time. And to this girl who was telling me, don't play that music. I don't like that music. I go, well, what do you like? Like, she was just like, everything was like, you know,
I remember
don't chew that way, don't do this, don't do that.
Especially in New York, because it was wide open and it was infinite and open all night. And I remember those early years in my 20s living in New York, and I would do sets till 4 in the morning sometimes. It was like the improv on 44th and 9th, was like the last set was like 350 on a Saturday. It was something crazy like that.
How many people were in the audience?
None, like nobody, like barely anybody. But you kept going, you know, just all night shows. Like I had a motorcycle because you could get to shows faster through traffic. You could do 8, 9 shows a night. And then you just get paid cash, and it was a great life. And then me and like Kevin Brennan and Dave Attell and a guy named Dan Vitale, who just passed away, and a few other guys used to go to the diner on the Westway Diner on 9th Avenue. And the Westway was all the street came into Westway. Like everybody that's out hustling, you know, Midtown and Times Square. And back then, Times Square was still filthy. And so there was always like a table of vice cops and then like a table of transvestite hookers. And they're out on the street. They're after each other. But everybody goes to the same diner.
So it's like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, it's like Wile E. Coyote and the whatever.
The sheepdog.
And they punch in.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Sam.
Yeah. It was like that. And the cops always had their guns shown, you know, their shoulder holster guns shown. And there'd be a table of comics.
Wow.
And we would just sit there and eat fucking Greek food and, you know, and just hang out and watch this weird, you know. I was so happy then. I was just so happy.
It's such a fun time.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really know what's going to happen. You hope that you make it. You hope you can continue to make a living.
Yeah.
But it's such a fun time of complete freedom. I really enjoyed that.
I loved it. It was enough to pay my rent in New York City. And at the time, I liked New York City a little more than I do now because there was more like cool stuff like bookstores and Tower Records, and there was more movie theaters, and there was more off the wall culture and strange stuff to see, and more restaurants and diners. There's really not all night diners in Manhattan anymore.
There isn't?
They're gone. Like me and Bobby Kelly, when we were getting ready to do his special, I went to watch him at the Cellar, and then I said, let's go to a diner and talk it over. And we walked around there, couldn't find one. They all closed. I mean, they closed at like midnight.
Now, is that because of crime?
Well, COVID killed a lot of places. I mean, it really distinctly changed the city. And it's thriving, New York. It's really, like, there are sometimes I'd hear people talk on your show and other shows saying, like, New York City is dead and it's dangerous. And I'm like, well, I don't know. We're here. Like, it's okay. It's a very resilient city. It's been through a lot.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's
also
bouncing back.
Just the fucking sheer numbers.
Yeah, there's just so many people. Someone's going to pick up slack.
Yeah.
Somebody's business will fail. A lot of businesses fail.
Katz's Deli's still open, right?
Sure.
That's open late.
I don't know how late they're open.
I think they're open till like 2 or 3 in the morning.
They might be.
That place is amazing.
I love that place.
That's my favorite New York place to eat late night.
It hasn't changed. You give them the ticket, and then the guy...
You paying cash?
Yeah, paying cash, and the guy gives you a little piece of pastrami while you're waiting.
Yep.
And you tip him.
Yeah.
And then you take these fat chunks of pastrami on rye back to your... and a big pickle.
Oh, my God. So good. Last time I was there, I rented a Jeff Ross. I'm like, this is the perfect place for you.
Yeah, that's where he belongs.
Katz's Delicatessen open 24 hours.
That's right.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's
it.
all that's left.
That's what you want. God, I want to fly there right now and go eat.
It's so good. The brisket.
Everything's great.
Fucking the fries are good.
And they've been open since like the 1800s.
Forever.
Oh, look at that sandwich.
Forever.
Look at that fucking
Beautiful.
sandwich. Oh, so good. It's such a classic Jewish delicatessen.
Yep.
Just classic.
There used to be a bunch more. There was a place called Ratner's on Delancey that was better.
Jerry's
But it's
Deli
gone.
went under in L.A.
Yeah, they all.
That's a sad. COVID killed Jerry's Deli.
Yeah.
Jerry's Deli was incredible. I fucking loved that place. I used to stop at, well, the one in Woodland Hills went under before COVID, but I used to stop there on the way home from the Comedy Store. I'd call my wife. I'm like, look, I'm going to Jerry's Deli. What do you want? Get
Nice.
pastrami Reuben, a bowl of soup, and we'd eat together after my set. It was amazing.
That's
Like
great.
so much fun.
That's great.
Yeah, it was like such a good, Jerry's Deli was such a good place to meet people too. Like, yeah, let's go talk about it. We'll go meet at Jerry's Deli. Go sit there, go over jokes and shit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, probably younger generations have their own version of that. But ours, we're
guess.
55, so
Yeah.
there's less of us. Most people our age are pretty settled. They're not going out anymore.
But the thing
So-
about the delis, for me, was always the history. It
Yeah.
wasn't just that the food was amazing. It's like, this place has been here since 1875. This place has been here since 1946. It's like, there's like Cantor's is another
Yeah, they still
great
have that. In
place.
LA, you can still
Yeah.
go to Cantor's.
Thank
Yeah, I remember going to
God.
Cantor's and seeing, I was with a comedian. Her name was Felicia Michaels. You remember Felicia?
Yeah, I remember Felicia.
And I was hanging out with Felicia, and we went to Cantor's, and it was my first time in LA, and Jackie Mason was there,
Oh, wow.
and I just watched him check her ass out. He just checked out Felicia's ass with that kind of like he nodded at her ass, like
That's
and
hilarious.
she's standing, she had no idea.
Well, Jackie Mason was a guy who got kicked off of the Ed Sullivan show because Ed Sullivan claimed that he gave him the finger.
Yes.
And so he got banned from television.
Yeah, because
forever.
I went to the Museum of Broadcasting or whatever it is in New York, where they have like all the archives, because I wanted to see that tape because I read his description of it, and I saw it.
What is it? Did he give him the finger?
No, what happened was the way he tells the story is that he was doing his set, and I guess Ed was kind of I don't know, he was a little nutty. And he wanted him off. He wanted him to quit, to stop. He wanted to get him off early or something. And so he got behind the camera and he was giving him 2 minutes. It was like giving him like himself. And Jackie's trying to do his set. And he goes, "What are you showing me a finger? Here's a finger. You want a finger? Here's a couple of fingers for you." Like he just sort of like flashed fingers around because Ed Sullivan was showing him, like making finger signs at him that he didn't understand.